Hey guys, so Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Scooby-Doo Ankha the Mummy 1/12 scale action figure by the fine folks over at Jada Toys. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen out there watching this in YouTube land, this guy right here, good old Ankha, good old Professor Nachit, I think that's his name anyways, is a massive step up from old Norville Shaggy Rogers that we took a look at yesterday, because A, he's a monster, he's not just a dude, and B, on a scale of 1 to 10, like Thorn from the Hex Girls, he's a friggin' bossin', but still not perfect. Still not perfect. You know why? First of all, he's bleached. He's bleached! He's supposed to be like a gray-brownish color, and instead he's closer to a white, so he's blending in with my background something terrible, so I apologize. But other than that, he is kind of built like a chimpanzee, but I almost think he had long arms in the cartoon. It's been a while since I watched it. But other than that, other than the color, I think he is dang near perfect. So why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see it all the mummy has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of fists. So he can punch you right in the kisser. I mean, gee whiz. And not for nothing, I think the mummy did throw a couple of punches in that episode. And then we also get the coolest accessory. We get the Professor Najit head with the wrappings. And what you do with this is, if I grab his head here, I will demonstrate. Ooh, that's a tight one, isn't it? You can put this wrapping over the neck. I'm gonna figure out how it goes. There we go. Push the Professor Najit head on. Kind of lean it into that. And then you have this strap here that can wrap around his head a little bit, at least a couple of times. And then you can have one of the members of the gang unmasking him, which is pretty cool. That's a neat little feature. I like that a lot. However, I'm never going to display him like that. He's always going to be Ankha the Mummy to me, looking for his coin! Coin! We did not get the coin. I wish we got a hand with the coin sculpted into it. But the thing I want to know is, did he ever hold it in the show when he was a mummy? I'm not sure. But at any rate, he did also have the power to turn people to stone, which is an odd power for a mummy to have, I guess. But they kind of revisited that in Scooby-Doo Where's Your Mummy during the What's New era. So that's kind of interesting. But at any rate, if you're a mummy in Scooby-Doo universe, you're going to turn people to stone or turn them into zombies, one of the two. But as far as articulation on him goes, his head can look way back. Can look down a little bit. He can tilt side to side. Can rotate as well. This little wrap on the back of his head, this does rotate around. Just take your time with it. Don't like crank yank on it. But it can move. It's a little ball joint. But it is gummy, so you know, just be mindful of that. It can move, but just be easy on it. Don't go nyeh. Now, as far as the shoulders go, they can go all the way up to a T-pose. Can rotate all the way around. He's got the beautiful butterfly that swings back and forth like that. It actually works too. Like, you can really push this forward, really push it back without worrying about squat. He's got a bicep swivel. And for this arm, What you want to do is you want to kind of pop this up, and then you can get that full bend out of it. Look at that. I'm not worried about this at all. Like, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It is not wearing out whatsoever. So kudos to Jada for using some super soft plastic there. He does have a hinge swivel wrist. Diaphragm joint can move this far forward. Look at that range. Can move this far back. Move his arms. He can tilt side to side. He cannot rotate up here. His torso is too flat. Kind of like that Black Series Sauvage Opress I looked at. He can rotate at the waist though. It's a little stiff, but once you get it moving, it'll move. And he can pivot down there as well. So he can lean forward, he can lean pretty far back too. And he can tilt side to side incredibly far. Once again, just ball pegs, people. Just ball pegs. His hips can kick all the way up. Back down. Forward, back, thigh cut. Double jointed knee. Oh, very stiff. But this leg is a little limited because this bandage does also move. I would say this moves a little easier than the other one, but they both work. It's fine. He does have a boost swivel, nice and hidden by the straps, just like this. Or the wraps, I should say. And he does have a hinge in the foot with a rocker. Once again, no peg holes, but he doesn't need them. He can stand just fine. Got him into plenty creepy mummy walking poses, but I think Jada needs to start putting peg holes in their figure's feet. Especially since I want to put these guys out on the shelf in my living room for Halloweeny season. Be nice to have that added support, because we do have an illegal business across the street that, well, let's just say some of their loud, arse, heavy equipment does shake the house a little bit, so don't need a cataclysm happening now, do we? But yes, Ankh the Mummy is super solid. He's not the right freaking color. But at least he doesn't look like the artwork on the packaging. I don't know who that fool was, but that is not Ankh the Mummy to me. Ankh the Mummy to me, I used to have a VHS when I was a kid that had the episode with Ankh the Mummy and the Black Knight. I think it was What a Night for a Night was the episode. And I'm hoping that when Jada gets to that guy, he's actually like black or at least a dark gray or gunmetal-y color. He better not be silver. That's some BS. So with that being said, I think it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Ankh the Mummy alongside the other figures available in Wave 1 of the Scooby-Doo figures from the fine folks over at Jada Toys. We have Shaggy Rogers, who we took a look at yesterday, so please check that review out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did. And then we also have the Creeper. Will be going up tomorrow, so please stay tuned for that. He is probably my favorite out of this wave, and I cannot wait for Wave 2. I mean, freaking Space Kook. Let's go. So, yeah, as I mentioned in the Shaggy review, Ankh the Mummy is a tall fella, so I'm curious how he's going to stack up alongside our two regulars. So why don't we get these two out of here? Bring in the Mythic Legion's Brother, the Mandibolith, right there. And I don't think Ankh is going to be taller than the infamous Ankha on the Spawn. How's that for a segue? Nope. Nope. Good old Al Simmons is still a little taller, but not enough to be towering. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while he may be a massive step up from good old Shaggy Rogers, I have to say that Ankh the Mummy here is still far from perfect. First of all, the color is wrong. Granted, there was a mummy that looked a lot like Ankh here in the What's New Scooby-Doo intro that was closer to these colors. But in Scooby-Doo Where Are You, he's a lot darker. He's more of a gray-brown than a straight-up bleached tan, if that makes sense. That said, the red eyes, also not accurate, but I don't mind them. I think they are adequate and add a little bit of character to a rather bland character design. I will, however, say I do appreciate the unmasked Dr. Najit head with the wrappings. I think that's a cool feature, and if you're into toy photography, you're going to love that. But, you know, some of you guys out there are probably going to think I'm a little harsh on these figures. Well, here's the deal. I was the same way with the NECA gargoyles because the wings sucked. We all know it. They sucked. They were not perfect. But they were gargoyles action figures in 6 to 7 inch scale that were way more articulated than the figures of old. These Scooby-Doo figures are no different. There's Scooby-Doo figures in the 6 to 7 inch scale that are way more articulated than the figures of old. But I still got to be critical about them or else they're not going to get better. That is the point of YouTube toy reviews, people. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.